If you're like me, you're using multiple traffic sources. And if you're not, either you're a beginner with less than 20 posts, in which case, wait, take some time, go write your 20 posts first, or you're somebody who really needs to start diversifying. So today we're going to talk about a tool that helps you do that. This is Niche Toolbox. It is the AI tool created by Niche Site Lady, who's been massive on Twitter and in like all of the kind of niche site spheres, to create content for Facebook pages. Now, full disclosure, I don't do Facebook pages. Not my thing, not something I find super fun, and I really follow my fun. So if something isn't fun for me, I don't do it. That being said, one day when I have time, I'd like to try it, but I actually use this tool very differently than everyone else that I've seen using it. So in this review, we're going to talk both about using it for Facebook pages and using it for Facebook groups, which is what I do. So what is this? What's happening? What are we doing here today? So Niche Site Lady is a really big presence in the blogging space who has run sites that multiple sites that are generating insane amount of ad revenue. And that's because that's really her focus. So pre-HCU, her site was getting over 1 million page views per month from Google. Then her site just got tanked immediately. Now, unlike some other niche site people where it's I think niche site, I use the quotes because it's kind of like a dirty word, I think in some ways. People are like, oh, those are people that don't do the thing. No, she's doing the thing, she's living the thing, she's in it. So she survived the first HCU, but then got slammed in the March 2023 update. And she realized she really needed to diversify. That way she had traffic coming from elsewhere. So where a lot of other people just threw in the towel and were like, hey, I'm done, can't blog, can't do anything, she figured out new solutions. And now her Google traffic is only 30% of her total traffic, while still growing. It's not like it's gone. It's still generating a lot of traffic because she gets an insane number of page views to her main site. But also she's making over $70,000 a month between ad revenue, some affiliates, and little bits of sponsored stuff as well, from my understanding. She shares those in her newsletter, which I will link in the description of this video, so you can go check that out if you want to. I believe she still does monthly income reports, but don't quote me on that. Most of us change how often we do income reports eventually. But she's given a lot of great information there as well over time, and you can actually go through the archive of her newsletter as well on her website. But this isn't about her. This is about Niche Toolbox. So another disclosure to make, I was given access to Niche Toolbox because I know Niche Site Lady. So I didn't have to pay for this. That being said, it was not oh, Nina, here's access to this, make a review video, please, promote it, do whatever. There was no expectation of me doing anything when I got access to this. It's just because a friend gave me access. So for me, I am doing this because actually my students asked me to. So my free Facebook group, a few different people asked questions about this tool, and I was trying to explain it, but I'm not very good at explaining things that are visual, where you need to see it. I don't think visually. So I thought, why not make a review video where we can go through it together? So in this video, we're going to talk pricing. We're going to actually go through all the tools. I'm going to actually live go through creating content for a specific post that I have. And I'm going to show you some content that I made for some lovely volunteers for my free Facebook group, so you can see it in action in a few different spaces in a few different ways. And then I'll talk about lastly whether or not I think it's worth it. So let's go and check out the tool basically. First, let's look at pricing. So I'm on the power plan at this point, which means that I get an insane amount of credits, which is really wonderful. It does mean that I am a little bit more able to throw credits away, I guess is what I would jokingly say, but it does mean I can be a little bit more frivolous with my credits. Now, if you're on a basic plan, I do think that's plenty if you run a single site. However, I think for power, it's if you're running multiple Facebook pages, whether or not you have multiple sites, I guess, and depending on your outputs. So the way that it works is you get projects, which are kind of little grouped areas where you can contain your outputs. So let's say you're generating a blog post for a travel site and for an SEO site. You want to put those in separate projects. Do I always do that? No, because I am messy. But I do find it helpful, especially when I'm generating stuff like in this example for students or for clients and things like that. It's easier to put it in their own project, so it's not mixed in with my stuff. And if you had a team, I can definitely see organizing it being a little bit better. Then you get a number of credits. Now, every action that you do inside of Niche Toolbox, pardon me, I was going to say toolkit. I always mix those two up. Inside of Niche Toolbox is going to take some amount of credits. And it depends on what the output is as to how many credits it takes. When we're going through, I'll show you this. You'll be able to like see how many things take in action because I don't remember top of head, but I really like that they do show here like how many you'd be able to generate of like up to 50 articles per month with the 250 credits. So it's not that you can do all of this for 250 credits, it's that individually you could do each of these with this credit. So something to keep in mind. It's not going to be like perfect in terms of being able to get all of these outputs all together. You know what I mean? Then every plan also comes with the Niche Site Lady Chat AI, the Niche Toolbox video trainings that take you through all of this, and long-term they're adding in WordPress publishing, which is going to be so nice because like it'll be nice to just like one-click import it. Anything with an asterisk is coming soon, so like SEO articles aren't here yet. So in this video, I'm not reviewing those because they're not here, and also I haven't been able to test them, but I will definitely do a follow-up once those are available. So you got to choose what you want. At time of recording, there are lifetime plans available. However, I do believe that they plan to go, they like switched to a monthly model for a minute and then went back to this. So I'm not sure what the entire thing is going to be, but I do think that like a monthly or yearly thing is going to start coming back eventually. And I'm not saying that for like false scarcity. I just genuinely don't know. Okay, so this is what Niche Toolbox looks like behind the scenes. When you log in, you're going to have this area where you have all of the different things that you can do. When I first got here, only the first 4 were available, so this is really cool that like there's been so much growth in just a few months. And I know both Niche Site Lady and the developer working on this, and they are doing a freaking amazing job. So 10 out of 10 for like how fast they're getting things up. Now you're also going to have your credits down here on the sidebar. Let me just move my head. And so you'll be able to see your credits per month. This will reset every month based on like what's happening. And then you can see all of the options over here as well if you like prefer a sidebar. I don't know why it like doesn't, I don't know, my little like sticky thing is I'm like, I wish I could just have it stay open sometimes, but not the end of the world by any means. Okay, so let's talk about what this can make. First, we have blog post ideas. This is going to generate a bunch of blog post ideas based on something you input. So when you come in, you input your niche, you input whatever language. It does over 80 languages at time of recording. I don't know how many their long-term plan is. Then you can select the project. So we're going to work in my like for clients area today because it's where I put all my demo stuff. I don't know why I call it that. I just do on like every platform. Something that started early on for me. And then you're going to input any additional instructions. So in this case, all the examples we're going to do today are going to be kind of related to my how to get traffic from ChatGPT search. So we'll just say we want this topic, and the niche is going to be like AI for bloggers, and the additional instructions I'll put in, oops, didn't mean, I always forget my like keyboard disconnects. And then you generate ideas. Now, if I'd hovered for a second longer there, sorry, I will in a second, it'll show you how many credits that takes. And then on the sidebar where it says your generated blog post ideas will appear here, we're going to get all of our ideas. So I want to show you a real-time output because it does take a second. The longest thing is when you're generating a social first blog post. It's longer because it is a longer thing that it has to generate. And they're not like super instantaneous, which is one like minor flaw in terms of me being a very impatient person. So like I'm here and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I just want to like go on and do something else. And I do find it challenging when like my ADHD is firing like it is right now, where I just want to like jump to something else. So here we can see all of our ideas. We have 7 astonishing AI hacks for every blogging newbie needs to try, how to electrify your blog with AI-powered interactive content, the hidden AI tools top bloggers swear by for seamless content creation, beware the 5 AI blogging mistakes you need to avoid. I think these are pretty cool. So if I like any of them, I'm just going to click on this. I do wish there was also like a save all button. I'm just going to like tell you guys everything I wish that there was. And I'm going to send this to Niche Site Lady and be like, hey, add these things for me, please. And then you can click Save Selected, and then it's going to save it under your project for the clients. So I don't think I have other stuff saved here. Oh, I do. I have some stuff saved here. But you can see like we've got the blog post ideas and then a couple like blog posts I did for the demos that I'll show you in a minute. And so then you can come back here, but you can also, this I love, you can filter by like the type of thing that you created so that you can just pull up whatever you want. So that's going to be generating blog post ideas. Then we have social first blog posts. So that's actually writing the body of the blog post about this topic. So if we go to social first blog post, first you can get ideas. It'll take you back to that last one we did, or you can just write the post if you already know what you want to cover. So you need a title and then you need to give it a description. Then you can set the length of it. Now it doesn't tell you exactly like how long it's going to be, but like you can see if you hover, it's going to be 5 credits no matter what. So I don't know how many words long specifically outputs. I just do auto every single time because I figure it knows. And I just realized I forgot to show you guys with the ideas. It's 2 credits to generate all those ideas. But because I'm lazy and I don't want to have to like figure out, where'd I go? There it is. I don't want to have to like go through and try to think of a title in front of you guys. I'm actually going to come back and look at all these ones that we saw before. So we have like Beware the Mistakes, AI Showdown, What Saves You the Most Time, all these ones that we created. Let's do the 7 astonishing hacks. So what I want to do is click on this like little arrow, and then you'll see I'm able to write the article just from the saved idea. So if I click write article, then it's just going to generate. And so this section here, I could have changed like this bit here. That's going to populate the additional instructions. So it's going to generate, it takes a little bit of time to be honest. So that's the one where like, if you're doing that, go make yourself a tea. It doesn't take like that long, but like by the time you like steep your tea or whatever, come back, you'll be good. So I just left and then came back, and here we have the blog post generated successfully. So you can click on this little like, I don't know what it's called, like a bell, and then sometimes they'll show up here. I find usually you have to like refresh before it will, but if we go to my projects for clients, we'll see the blog post shows up at the top. So I'll click on that and then it'll open it up for me. And then here we have like the whole edit area. So like, I'm a control freak with writing blog posts. I find one-click AI writers are not my favorite because they don't sound like me. A lot of times my issue with them is that I can't work with them. Like I prefer to work with an AI versus having it do it for me, but this is literally meant for it to be done for you, so I can't really fault it for that. That being said, I don't think it writes like the highest quality of blog post. Does it need to for like the success that I've seen people have with this? Not really. And I do think that like SEO requires the highest quality of content. Like you have to have a near perfect blog post. For Facebook pages and groups, you kind of don't. Like your audience will forgive a lot more. They really care about the content itself. And with Facebook pages, your goal, from my understanding, really isn't to like have the best article that's ever been written about anything, because you're kind of not competing with other like other sites. What you're competing with is you're competing with other things on Facebook for that person's attention. So the main thing is standing out on Facebook, and then once you have them, you have them. So I think that that gives you a little bit more leeway there. That being said, like this intro bothers me. Like I'm just like, it's not very good. You can definitely rework it, which is nice. Like you can just start typing in here and edit anything that you want. I noticed that it really favors listicles sometimes, even when it shouldn't be a listicle, in my opinion. If you use the word list literally anywhere, it triggers it for a listicle. Otherwise, though, like not that bad. And I do think that that's probably partially from the training that I again, not a Facebook page expert. From what I've seen, listicles seem to do pretty well on Facebook, so I think that's wise. It's probably over picking up on that. But I do think there's, I don't know, opportunities to adjust that a little bit, and I'll show you that in one of the samples that I did. But yeah, so here we can see this blog post. I think it's pretty good. It's not like the best thing ever. Personally, I would do a lot more research. I'd like input my own personal experience, things like that. And I can input my own personal experience in the additional instruction section. I just didn't do that here. So that is something that like I lacked in this example. But I'm also a perfectionist. And the thing is, you kind of can't be with this tool because that's not the point. And it's not that the tool doesn't work. It's that literally like the point of how you succeed with Facebook pages and things like that is that you don't need to have that perfectionism and that like, not that they're like low quality. I think they're lower quality in my opinion. And just like a little bit, not even like low quality, sometimes just like a bit less stressful, a little bit less like finicky, I guess is the right word, than SEO. So just keep that in mind. And any changes I make, I can save here. And if I want more ideas based on this, I can click on more ideas, go back, tell it like the topic, and then it'll generate more ideas for me. Next, we have status post generators. So a status post is going to be like a one sentence thing that's meant to like show up on someone's newsfeed and capture their attention. So basically with it, we are, let me ChatGPT search. And then you can see it's 1 credit. We're generating a bunch of one sentence things that we can then publish on Facebook pages really quickly that are going to get engagement. So we want likes, we want comments, we want shares, we want reactions, we want people to engage with the page. And part of that is because the way the algorithm works, both for pages and for groups, is that the more people engage, the more they're going to see it. So what we really want here is that people are going to keep coming back to engage with us. So if we have a few of these, then we can share our actual like links to our blog, and then people will go there. These are my favorite use of this. Honestly, I love these. So here we can see the generated post text search versus ChatGPT, which surprises you more. My weirdest GPT search result was, and fill in the blank, what's your top trick for mastering GPT searches? Share times GPT help solve real world problems. Remember your first ChatGPT surprise, share it. What's your proudest ChatGPT achievement? I don't know if that one perfectly works, but they don't all have to work. ChatGPT's limits, useful or exaggerated. What's your funniest ChatGPT search tip? GPT amazed me when it could blank. What did you get wrong about a GPT at first? I think these are all pretty good. I'm just going to save everything that we do here. That way, if you guys ask me questions about it later, I will remember. Oh, here, and I should have like shown you as well. Status posts usually have like that colored image background. I personally don't love that. I don't think it's the end of the world to use it. I know it like stands out more. I think in groups specifically, it looks spammy to me, so it's not my favorite. But with pages, it makes more sense because you're showing up like on someone's main wall. So you need to stand out with all the images and stuff. Next, we have the meme generator. This is really fun. You can then like create your own memes. So you can either upload a meme and then like adjust around it. I don't really do that because I don't care to. And then we have browse memes, and you'll find tons of meme options here. Now, my only thing is I'm incredibly indecisive and I don't know that many memes. So I don't always understand the like purpose behind a meme. So it means that I like do waste a fair amount of time like at first learning about these. I would love for it to be like something that it could suggest which meme long term, but for now you have to pick one yourself. So let's use this distracted boyfriend one, and then you can set the goal. Do we want it to be funny, get engagement, be controversial, promote something? I always like funny. I think funny is really fine. So let's do ChatGPT search for the topic, and then when we generate, that's 1 credit per image that you're going to do, and you can download it immediately from here, which is great. You can't currently save it into like your area there, so I always just like make sure I download it, even if I don't love it. That way I can like play around with it. So here it's going to create text fields that you're then able to change. So you can see I can move it if I want to. I can type it in over here differently. It's basically like a meme generator online, and there are a lot of free ones of those, but I really appreciate that it like does the first work for me of coming up with the text. Because I used to make a bunch of memes, especially around SEO, and what I would do is I would generate the like ideas in ChatGPT, then I'd go to the meme generator, try to match the meme. Sometimes ChatGPT made up memes that didn't exist, and then try to like make it all work. And so this I think is a bit easier. Here we can then adjust like whether the text has like an outline or not. You can adjust basically like everything that you want to make it look a little bit more like you. And then when you download it, you're just going to get a PNG of it. I think this is probably the feature most people like end up here for, honestly, is the Facebook ad creator. So most people grow their Facebook pages by using ads. And so what they do for that is they have like a like campaign. So they get people to like their page, that way they can grow. And so what they need for that is an ad that is going to attract people for it. So we can either generate an AI image here or upload an image. So in this case, let's just say AI for bloggers is the niche, and then I could give any additional instructions. I'm not going to. I can upload my watermark if I want to, like as my logo. Don't care for this. If I uploaded my own image, it would be 3 credits. If I use an AI generated image, it's 10 credits. I've only ever done the AI image because I don't have any images I would otherwise use. But I find it pretty solid, honestly. Like it does a good job of getting something that I think I would consider clicking. And I will show you, we'll upload an image. It's not going to be a great image, so just be nice to me. And so here we have the text that I can adjust as I want to. I can change the images and the emojis and things like that, which I really appreciate. And so here we have, is AI for bloggers your thing? Discover the future of content creation, press here. I actually think this is like not one of the better ones I've seen. So if I wanted to like redo it, I can adjust any of these that I want to if things just like aren't vibing for me. So in this case, let's just make a new one and we're going to upload an image. And I have a summit that I'm working on at the moment, and I generated some images of us. So let's just upload this picture of this, and I'm going to say blogging summit, and then create ad. And then this is going to still do like, it's kind of structured, so it's always going to do like text above, main image, bottom thing. Weird at saying press here. Usually it doesn't. Usually it's like this or like to agree or something. Because I think press here isn't as good. But whatever. And then if you love blogging summit, join the retreat now. I would need to change that. I don't think this is a great output. But you can see what the image looks like. I just use the AI ones personally, and I've not used them to run a Facebook ad, but I have used them to like share and then try to get people to react to that individual post in a group. So Facebook ads just aren't my gig, so not my thing, but I think it works well. And then we have create traffic driving image post generator. So what this is it's kind of a new trend on Facebook where you'll see an image like, let's say the background is like, I don't know, Rome or something, like the Colosseum. And then there will be like a little bubble, and that bubble, like literally my little face right now, is going to have either like your face or a picture of your dog or something. And it's one of the ways that you can make a stock image more original because it's going to have a background image and then you. So it's going to have like those two things kind of like layered on top of each other. And then it has the text about the blog post. So let's do my 7 astonishing AI hacks. And then it's going to like choose the text. So it wants to try to just use the social first title, but I'm going to have it enhance it because I don't know. And then I can have like, I can adjust what I think the AI images should be, or if I wanted to, I can actually upload them myself. So for this, I'm just going to let it run and then we'll see what we get. It's going to take 9 credits to do that. So we'll give it a moment. I want to address something I've seen about this though, is that some people have said that this is kind of janky and they're like, oh, like I wish I didn't have to upload the images and I had to type out the text and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, fair, I get that. Honestly, like I also want it to just magically do the thing. Number one, I think like they're not the prettiest images. Like it's not going to be the most beautiful Canva generated thing ever, because the point is it doesn't need to be. And I think that's really where people misunderstand this tool. And it's something that honestly, depending on the group, like I wouldn't use this in every group of mine. My like, I don't want to say like higher caliber, but like the groups that I really like are closest to my heart, I wouldn't use a lot of these things in, especially the images. I think the text, like the status generating posts, I would, but I think stuff like this don't fully belong in a group where it's like these are your people, like these are like your people. Because like this AI image, I think it's fine. I don't really understand why the background's a library and then it's a person hologramming out of a book. But again, I could have given it more information. But for a Facebook page, something that gets someone's attention, like I would stop and look at this and be like, what is happening? Like I would engage with this. And I think that's the point of it. Like that literally is why this is created. So is it the prettiest thing in the world? Is this going to be like a revolutionary method of like, I don't know, graphic design? No, it's not going to be, because that's not the intention. And Niche Site Lady has proven that you don't need that. So I do know her main site. I will not reveal it because that is very much her choice to do, and we always want to prioritize people's consent. But I have seen it actually working in action over there. So I will say it actually works, and people don't care that much about like a perfect image or that like the hours you spent designing in Canva. So just keep that in mind. Now, overall for this, the more common way to do it is to upload your face or your own like custom image in this and then use a stock photo or AI for the background. I think that is a better way to do this. And I could very easily adjust this to have that. And even then, I think it would work for my group then at that point. I just want to make sure it's like a little bit more personalized to me, and you can adjust that. Long term, I would love to see some like ability to save like brand fonts even in it. Again, though, this is not a designing thing, so I don't know that's going to happen. But even just being able to say like, oh, I always use like Courier or something, because I'm lazy. I don't want to have to click a couple times. And then again, you can download it and you can save it to your project. So let's just save it to our project here so we have it. Now we have two other features here. We have the NSL Chat AI. So with the chat, you're going to actually be able to like talk to it. So we can just call it whatever. I don't really use it, to be honest, but it's a way to like kind of get almost like niche site ladies' opinions on things. So, hey, NSL, I need help. And then when you type in, it's automatically going to respond to you. So it is a chat bot. It is not actually Niche Site Lady responding. She is very, very busy. But here you can see it's going to like let you engage with her and get her expertise. So she actually trained it like on her knowledge and her experience and what she's doing. So it's a great way to kind of work with her. So like, I want to run an ad to my retreat. Help me, please. And basically, it's just like it's almost like a custom GPT of her, which is really fun. So you get to interact with it here. The longer or like more intense your prompt is, you can see like the more detail we're going to get. So here we have some information, and then she can actually like help you create your more tailored advice. Now, I wouldn't come here and be like, oh, this is going to be absolutely perfect. It is experimental where it's, first of all, it's kind of just out of beta at time of recording, but also with any AI chatbot, it's not actually the same as talking to the real person. So having spoken to her about this stuff, these are things that she mentioned to me. But if it's going to be like really in depth, I wouldn't like take financial advice off of this. You know what I mean? Then we have all the training documents. So these are going to be videos that actually walk you through, pardon me, how to use everything. So you're going to learn like how the systems work, what's happening, and yeah, get like a behind the scenes training. We did a fair amount of that already, so I don't know that you need to do it, but it's nice to watch and like learn directly from the source. So that is what happens over there. Okay, now let's talk about some example use cases. So in my free Facebook group, I asked my audience to please, please, please help me out with this. Only travel bloggers responded. I was really hoping for people from different niches so I could like give more examples, but we do have a lot of different travel niches, so I still think that's helpful. And we did AI today, so you've seen like from a like B2B standpoint, now you can see it from a B2C standpoint. And I really think honestly that B2C is where it shines way, way more. I think it does such a good job with like engagement around like hobbies and interests. I don't know that it is perfect for business. And in my own use cases, I can definitely say that as well. So first we have status posts. So this was about US wellness, which I think is pretty obvious here in like US travel. So we have like your best adventure travel fitness hack, share it, meditation retreat or adventure hike, your pick. So it's getting people to engage and talk about these different things. And I think that's really fun. It's a good way to like get people going with this. All of these I would share inside of a Facebook group as well. Then we have this Canadian travel embrace slow travel over bucket lists. That was actually like the niche given to me, and I think it just turned it into a title. So I do think this one is not the best example in terms of like the output. I don't think it did a great job. So here we have like number one, what exactly is slow travel? I don't think it should be a list. So like I mentioned before, whenever you use the word list, it kind of turns it into a list, and I think that's where this kind of fell apart. It then also includes a slow travel case study that just doesn't exist. And so you'd have to go in and rewrite that. Like I personally wouldn't share something with a like kind of like, yeah, like a fake case study. That makes no sense to me. Now this one is a lot longer than the other one we generated, so you can see a lot of information here. I think it just kind of ran away with itself and got confused about what it was doing and how to end. So I don't think this is the best example, but I do think it did a good job of like what it's talking about. As someone who is Canadian and knows many of these things, I do think it's like touching on topics that would be covered, although some of these should probably be their own post, is my opinion anyway. Then we have for Salou from Paris, we have a bunch of other status posts. So like quirky Paris cafes to visit, cat, sci-fi, or vintage. I know that cat cafes are huge. I don't actually know if the other two exist. This one I love, croissant or pain au chocolat, which one wins in Paris? Things like that. Like those are really great ways to engage and get your audience to I just said engage, but to engage with your content. So I really like those. I think that and like the blog post ideas are pretty solid. So here we have the Nerd Traveler that does like a lot of like UNESCO and like historical travel and things like that. So you can see here like the hidden histories of 7 UNESCO sites only experts know. I would click on that. Like I want to read that. Are we losing our heritage? 4 UNESCO sites at risk of disappearing. I love these topics. So while I don't think it does the best job writing the content, from a perfectionist standpoint, from someone who like I always assume that like my grandma and my mom are reading every single post and I like want to impress them. I also assume that like my sister who like doesn't understand what I do is reading them and I'm like, no, like I gotta prove her wrong. So to me, I think that's where a lot of my perfectionism comes from. So that's why I don't love these outputs for the posts, but I do understand that like based on the model that Niche Site Lady and other people like Andy Scrugg of Hike Your Likes, and I think like basically everyone I know teaching Facebook pages actually, they all kind of say it's like pump the content out there. That's really what's important. And it's about getting clicks and then keeping people on the post. It does not need to be the most like unique post. It doesn't need to have like all your personal experience. It doesn't need to have like, it should have some, but it doesn't need to be like this Taj Mahal of a blog post the way that SEO often does. So I'm probably too far into the SEO world, but something to keep in mind. Then for Pack and Paint, we had some more social first blog post ideas. So there were some that I kind of liked, like the Amsterdam Through the Eyes of Locals, 5 Unbelievable Stories. Even though I'm not a fan of colons, I don't really like them in a title. I don't really like hyphens in a title either. I like one title, where it's like something like this, where I think 5 Unbelievable Stories about Amsterdam would have been better, but I think overall it's fine. Then what was the other one I liked? I'm trying to remember. It was where is it? The Avoid These 5 Rookie Mistakes when Visiting Amsterdam's Coffee Shops. Having been to Amsterdam a few times and making rookie mistakes, I think that'd be really helpful for people. Then we have Where's Natalie Now, who asked for a blog post but didn't give me one. So I decided to generate post ideas first and then see how it did actually writing that post. So the topics I was given were Australia, Hawaii, and travel points, and you can see it kind of blended a few. So I was like, cool, let's do surprising ways credit cards can fund your Hawaiian adventures. And then we got this like long post. My problem with it is I think the text beneath the headers is far too small. Like I feel like we need a lot more like to deep dive into those things. Again, I think that's based on like my preconceived notions of posts, but just keeping it out there. And I hate the intro. I think the intro is really far too short because I love a well-crafted intro. If you want to learn more about how I write intros, I do have an old Facebook Live on that. It's not old. Facebook Live. I have a YouTube Live on it that is older in that it is not currently a live video, but it is in my lives. So go check that out. I do like that it's like linking to, or like referencing studies and stuff. I just wish it would link to them because I can't verify this now immediately. I have to go and actually check it, and I wouldn't feel comfortable posting without checking it. So that's something to consider. But I think overall, like it's pulling a lot of data that I hope is correct. I don't know. But it'd be really cool to like have that linked a bit better so that I can make sure the research is actually accurate. There is a video I have coming, I think next week for when this is scheduled, but don't quote me on that. But there is a one-click AI writer that I've tried that really surprised me. And I think that's also why I'm being a bit more critical today is I didn't expect the quality of that output. So this one falls a little bit flatter for me, but it can actually do like research and like give you the research, which I love. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I think overall, I really like the topics it's covering, and I think it's pulling a lot of really interesting stuff. I love like the controversial thing about like to splurge or not to splurge, because that is like a really big thing that comes up with Hawaii. So yeah, overall, I think the content, like the idea is there. I think you'd have to zhuzh it. You should kind of do that anyway. You don't legally own the output of an AI writer unless you have edited it. And the US Supreme Court, or I think it was, I want to say Supreme Court, I don't remember, but there has been a legal ruling in the US. They said like significant editing, but the examples they cited were even like as simple as like hitting enter on it and being like, okay, now it's been edited if you did that a few times. So just like run your fingers through it a little bit before you actually post it. Okay, then we have a meme for parks family travel. We have how should we travel to U.S. national parks, road trip across the country, book flights and luxury hotels. Let's use the National Park Service trip planner for a budget-friendly plan, and then he gets thrown out a window. And then I did another one because I honestly don't know if that was a good output. I did forget I set the background to yellow and then downloaded it before I changed it back to white. Where should families travel in U.S. national parks? Yellowstone for geysers, Yosemite for Half Dome, I think it says, and then Lost in the Forest for an authentic survival experience, and then he gets thrown out. I think that one's funnier personally. Then for Brody gave me a few different niche ideas, so I figured let's create some different stuff. So here we have the Is International House Sitting Your Thing? Tap if you agree. This is an ad post, and I think this one is like one of those ones where I'm like, yeah, I would click on this. There's a cute cat like sitting in someone's lap. It looks cute outside. Like this is something I would engage with. Whereas like I don't know if I love that AI one quite as much. Then I did for homeschooling, for online teaching. I did a meme, so it says effective online lessons, and then the off route is finding the unmute button, and then it's teachers transitioning to online teaching. So they're spending all their time trying to figure out the buttons. And then some social first blog post ideas for family travel. I don't know enough about family travel to like really say what works. One thing I did notice, and this is something that a lot of AIs do, is that they're trained on data up to a certain point. So this one, all of its research is always 2022 to 2023, like at the latest date it can go to. So in titles, it will put in 2023. And I'd like to see them update that because that is a bit annoying. It's not the end of the world for titles, but I think for the posts themselves, it can be frustrating where it's like, I'd rather have as up-to-date information as possible. Again, that's something, I have another tool that I've reviewed that's coming soon, so y'all can check that out. But I think overall, like, these are topics that would work pretty well and I think are like interesting and fun to write on. So let's talk about like, is this worth it? In my opinion, and like looking at the actual price, yes, if you're going to use it. So that's going to be the most important thing. So Niche Site Lady is driving like so much traffic. I think her Facebook page alone, she said, don't quote me on this, double check in her newsletter or her Twitter. I think she said it was generating like $30,000 of ad revenue a month just from Facebook posts sending people to her website. So if that's the case and you're doing that, then $4.99 for life, even just like for a month, would be so worth it. However, we obviously have to build that up. So what I would say is it's only worth it if you're actively going to use it. So you need to have a plan, at least bare minimum, for the next 6 months that you are going to actually make sure that you are posting to your Facebook page every single day if you're going to get this tool. It's not worth it to spend $500 on a tool that you don't touch. It's not worth it to spend $500 on a tool and only use like the status post generators and then never send people to your website. Because how are you monetizing? Like, great, if you have a Facebook page of 100,000 people, but you get 10 clicks to your blog, are you doing the right thing? Probably not. So we really want to make sure that if you're getting a tool like this, you are going to utilize it. Now, again, I'm not a Facebook page expert, so I can't say like, oh, you need to publish exactly this much and then it's worth it or whatever, because I don't know. So instead, I'm going to speak from a Facebook group standpoint, because that is what I do. I run so many Facebook groups. I have a lot of fun with them. I've started like 3 more just in the last month because they're a really fun thing for me. Now, I run what I like to call like micro niche communities. So I'm not big on having like 100,000 people in them. I like to have like my close-knit community of besties. And that's where I think that this doesn't really work, because I think that ultimately I have a higher quality standard for like my sites that are kind of my babies. Like, She Knows SEO. I don't want to publish anything that like looks janky and like isn't really all the way there. Do I publish stuff that looks janky and isn't all the way there? Yeah, but it's just because I have the worst eye in the world for design. So I can see that like having AI images and things like that might not work for a group like that. However, I think the blog post ideas and status post generator are there for it. And I think those really help. I think the social first blog post can be used if you're comfortable with it. I'm personally not, based on like my own kind of standards that I've set for that group. However, for other Facebook groups that I have that are not my focus, that are just like things that I have and that I kind of forget are there and that I regularly forget to schedule anything in. So I've had to set calendar reminders for it. I just come in here and then I can automate it, which is so great. So I can generate a bunch of blog post ideas, get some social first blog posts, put them up on the website, judge them a little bit, add some photos, and then they're ready for the month. And then those sites can kind of run themselves. And that has been really easy for me. So I would say from that standpoint, definitely worth it, especially because it means that those sites are now actually active versus what was happening before. I did have some people ask me about like the social first blog posts for an SEO standpoint. Niche Site Lady has said that she doesn't no index them. I personally would. I don't think that they are high quality enough that they don't risk dragging down your site. I don't think that they because Google is grading you as a whole. I think ChatGPT search and Bing are doing that as well. And I've yet to see, and from minimal testing, to be fair, I've yet to see a social first blog post from Niche Toolbox show up in Google or in ChatGPT search for myself, or in Google search, to be fair. I think the top one I got was like 63 was the position or something. But with ChatGPT search, I've never been able to get one to rank over there. So at time of recording anyway. And I know that they're making an SEO generator, so long term you'll have that option, but I think that it's unsafe to like put them on your site and let Google see them, where it could drag down the overall quality of your site. So personally, I would no index them, but it is something you can definitely test. And if you see that it is starting to drag you down after a couple months, just go back and no index those posts, and then you're set. And I just want to share my schedule for how I'm using this in those other Facebook groups that I have. So what I do is I have one day a month. Let's just use the first of the month because mine is like a weird schedule and I won't remember all the spaces of dates. But let's just say the first of the month, I sit down and I have my blog posts or my blogs up and I'm like, okay, I need for 5 blogs, I need to make sure I have at least 2 posts generated each month for them. I'll come through, get some blog post ideas, generate those social first blog posts. At this point, because it does 10, I usually do about 5 per month, just like whatever fits for me and whatever I like, because I don't always like all 10. Then I will schedule those for those sites, grab some photos, put them up there. I coded a plugin for myself that can like pull my images from my Google Drive, so it's pretty quick to just like select a few, publish and go basically. In this case, I do schedule them as well because I have RSS feeds on, so it like helps me not have to bother with the emailing quite as much as well. Then I go through and I create status posts. So I take all 10 typically. I think there's only been a couple times I didn't like them, and then I did like 5 from one batch, and then I kind of adjusted it. So with the status posts, my little trick is rather than putting in like the niche, I treat it as a topic. So that then it's like, okay, this month, let's say I have like let's use my Ottawa case study site. It doesn't have a Facebook group, but let's like pretend it does. For that one, let's say like month, I don't know, December is going to be about like winter in Ottawa. So I'd put that in because I don't want like other Ottawa content. I just want winter in Ottawa. Then in January, I want it to all be about like the Rideau Canal and like Winterlude. So I put those as topics. So I find that can help you narrow it down so it's not like generally about the overall topic. And I think that works better for groups versus like a broad status for a page. Then I try and do like one meme kind of per week, I would say. The traffic driving image posts, I haven't been experimenting with yet. I haven't put those in there. So I kind of left that, but it is something I intend to add in. Then I have the Facebook ad creator that I've tried just like sharing like 1 or 2 inside the groups and it's done fine. So that's kind of just like randomly. And then I fill in the gaps with my own stuff because I do think a with a Facebook group, you need to like just kind of post sometimes and not like have a plan, not have anything that's like just trying to get engagement. You just need to like educate and inform or entertain. So I just try and add in like one of those a week as well. So overall, that gets me to basically the point where every day has something happening. And because I'm not using the traffic driving image posts, I tend to just like take the social first blog post, put it into a chat GPT that I created that can like create a Facebook post for me that's trained in my methods. It creates them for all of them. I go in and schedule them manually, and then we're set. So it usually takes me about half a day to go through and do this for multiple blogs that I have. I'm not like the most religious at it. Like I had a really bad January, so I just skipped it. February, then I had no time, so I did it for a couple sites, but not all of them. So it kind of just depends. And I will say I started an experiment with this for public groups. And I have found because a public group blends a private Facebook group and a page so well, so far I'm finding that like Niche Site Ladies' traditional methods seem to be working really well there, where the more specific stuff isn't getting as much engagement. So something else to keep in mind if you use a public group. So final verdict, is it worth it? In my opinion, if you are going to prioritize Facebook pages, yes, I think this is massively worth it. If you're also going to use it to automate parts of a group and you're okay with the fact that it's not going to be as if you wrote it, like if that's fine by you, then you're set. Like honestly, that would be fine. I've really enjoyed it. I think it's a great base and I've used it for a lot of things, especially when like a site isn't my primary focus. For sites that are my primary focus, I adjust it because I think that I need like my own voice in it. And long term, I really hope that being able to like customize your voice a bit more gets added in. And I do hope we see some adjustments with like linking and things like that, just because I still have to like use Link Whisper to add the internal links to it and keep people on my site. Because my method, I think, is a bit different than other people's, where I'm not about a one-click solution. I want people to like come into my ecosystem and stay there. I've always wanted people to like get to my site and then go on a road trip through my site. It was the thing I talked about, I think, in my like first interview ever with Niche Pursuits. And it was like the thing they were like, oh wow, like you keep people on your site for a long time. And I'm like, yeah, because of this. So I would prioritize that personally if you're using this as well. If you get them to your site, keep them on your site. But lastly, I'd say, like, if you're not going to be prioritizing Facebook pages, if you hated every output that I showed you today, do not get this tool because you're going to be incredibly disappointed. If like you watched all this and you said, nope, I didn't like any of those outputs, I wouldn't share those, then this is not for you. I think that this is definitely a tool meant to like help you scale. It's not meant for like perfect quality. It's not meant to be an assistant that sounds like you and can replicate you. If that's what you want, go make yourself a custom GPT. You can definitely do that. It's not going to be able to do the meme generation. It's not going to be able to fully like format things like in terms of the traffic generating images and the ads the way that this does. But you can definitely train it on your own systems and then work with Canva and things like that. So if you were like, nope, I would be spending all this time editing these, then this isn't for you. However, if you're like, I just need something that's going to get it done, I have sites I need to manage, I have like other things I'm working on, then use this and then save yourself so much time. Now, I am going to link my affiliate below in the description and it'll be in the upper corner. So if you want to purchase this, I would appreciate you using my affiliate link at no extra cost to you. I get a commission for any referrals I send. So if you found this helpful, that would be really, really epic. I teased that next week I have a new one-click AI tool that I'm reviewing coming. I did check, it is next week. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you'll be notified when that comes up. It is I was surprised, honestly. Like, it has changed my opinion of one-click AI writers a little bit, and it's why I'm like so harsh on them, especially now. So I definitely recommend staying tuned to check that out. But I mentioned some custom GPTs today, and so I'm going to link a video on how you can create a custom GPT. That way, if this didn't quite work for you, or if you just want to try that first, you can go give that a go, see how it works, and then see if this is the right fit. So that video will be on screen now, and I will check in with y'all next week when we get to learn about more AI tools. And after that, we're going to be doing a bit more SEO, so don't worry, we're switching it up again, and I can't wait for you guys to check out some of the videos that are happening. I also just want to say thank you for us hitting 5K. That's wild, and as promised, a YouTube SEO tutorial is incoming. It just takes me a while to film because I'm a perfectionist. So I will see y'all soon. Have a lovely rest of your week. Bye!